friends. Welcome to another episode of Game Time with the Goss, powered by Grey Wolf Promotions. I'm your host, Brian Gossett, with GM Sports Media. Today's guest is Celina girls soccer coach Alex Adams. They just wrapped up the soccer season with the Class 4A state championship, their third consecutive state title, beating Bernie 1-0 in Thursday's final and finishing 26 and 1 and 2 on the season. Coach Adams joins us now. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
So another year, another state title. Again, third straight. I kind of ask coaches this all the time. Each title is its own, and it feels different from the past. But just kind of take me through this year and this go around, and how this one differs from the first two.
Well, the past 2 years we had two really good set of girls that were really highly talented. We had Taylor Z, who obviously the year before I got there had broken the high school record for goals scored, and so I was lucky enough to inherit her that first year, and she went out and did her thing, and then the next year. We had a really big core of girls in Lexi Toot and Mia Norman, Maddie Vanna, and Brielle Buchanan. And all four of those girls, went off to either start or play significant minutes their freshman year in college soccer. So that tells you the kind of caliber of players that they were. So we knew that this year was going to be a little bit of a rebuilding year. You could look at our roster, and we had quite a few freshmen that made the team and were starting or played significant minutes. And kind of going through the year, we knew it was going to be a little bit more of a defensive year as we tried to get these younger girls kind of settled into to playing high school soccer at the level that they're playing at. And um, to say that it was a different year is an understatement. That we really, besides some of the typical games that we have ease with in district, we played some of the tougher teams in Texas. We played scrimmage Post Prosper, Walnut Grove, and Grapevine, and we either didn't come out victorious on the other side or tied. So we knew that offensively it was going to be a little bit of a struggle. But on that same note, us being able to hang in with, we hung with the state champions in 6A. They beat us 1-0 in a scrimmage. So if that doesn't tell you anything about how great our defensive was this year, then it should. So and then Miss Miller on Prosper, she was the one that made a heck of a goal about 25 yards out or so. So it took a goal azul to crack our defense and finally score against us.
I mean, what's it kind of say about your team and your program and just soccer in general in that area to say, it's going to be a rebuilding year, and yet, you go out and win a state title?
Yeah, no, it goes to show that just how solid the area is. I mean, if you look, man, 4A all the way up to 6A, every single one of those teams that won the state championship, we're within like a 15-mile radius of each other. With Wakeland, Prosper, and us. So I think that goes to show just how solid the club scene is here in the area. Particularly there in the Frisco, Prosper, Celina area. That we really, I feel, get some of the best in the state of Texas in that area, and it goes to show in the amount of titles that were won this past weekend in Georgetown.
Yeah, like you said, Wakeland winning 5A and Prosper winning 6A. That's now 3 straight years that the girls, DFW girls, have swept the state titles in Georgetown, and yeah, it's kind of just ridiculous, just the amount of success DFW's had. Um, I don't even know if there's any talks about it, but do you think it's time to maybe move the tournament closer to DFW with so much success in the area?
Yeah. Well, don't say that too loud to the rest of the state. But you know, I could see that, but something I'm really, I guess, connected with is with Georgetown is the fact that when you show up there, like you've made it, and there's something significant about the showing up to that field and seeing the hill and all the nuances that go with the stadium that there is something to showing up there. But I will say, just like some sports that to be able to go into to different areas. The basketball obviously goes to San Antonio and football up here. That it'd be kind of cool if every once in a while they had some kind of rotating schedule or something, just so that way different cities could maybe experience it. But on the same note, I could also see where keeping it in Georgetown's pretty central location in the state of Texas, and just the tradition of being there in that area. I think that's been there now for like 10, 15, 20 years, something like that. So, uh, I could see why just keeping it as is, would be perfectly fine. And to be honest, they do such a great job of hosting. And both UIL and Tasco, they do a really good job of organization and keeping the teams, in the know of what's expected and everything, and get quality refs out there. And I really enjoy my time down there in Georgetown.
And you get on a charter bus, road trip, couple hours on the road. It really adds to the experience.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's the one thing that the girls. I almost think that that's 1A as far as getting to Georgetown and competing for state championships. The fact they get to ride on the bus and feel like they're ballers for a few hours.
Okay, so you're at state 3-1 in the semis against Lumberton, and then 1-0 against Bernie in the state championship on Thursday. Sort of felt like two of the tougher games as well it should have been, but the two of the tougher opponents all season, especially that Bernie match. Just talk about both wins.
Yeah, well, we knew with Lumberton, the year before they had gone out in Stephenville, taken care of them pretty handily. But we saw that the roster that that they'd gained a year older, gained some experience. I know that they have a pretty decent club scene down there, and got a good group of girls that also play high level club down there. So we knew it was going to be a little bit tougher match, and we just kind of felt that if we were able to get behind their midfield, because their midfield was, in my opinion, the stronger group of the players that they had out there, and if we could get behind their midfield and get to their defense, then we'd have a pretty good shot of scoring some goals, and we were able to do that. You look, Sammy Kiro, she went out and scored 3 goals. The one was offside, but I think she scored 3 goals in a matter of like 6 minutes or something. Just went ham, and to have her show out the way that she did, and then of course Riley hit that distance. It was like 35, 40 yards. So it was a pretty incredible second half, and that kind of was the theme of the whole year, where it seemed like for whatever reason our team needed that first half to kind of get their bearings and see what the team was all about, and then we made some adjustments each half, and then we went out and took care of the games that we did in the second half, and that was kind of the theme all year. And with Bernie, it was really going to be a tough match. This is the third year that we've faced them. They're well coached. They also have a lot of high level players on their team, and you look at the enrollment. I think they have something like 400 or 500 more kids than we do, and the reason why they're obviously going up to 5A next year. So you knew that they were going to have a good group of kids, because really we were competing against a 5A school, and every year Bernie brings it. I was really nervous this year because with the fact that they were moving up to 5A, I'm sure the message with the coach was that, hey girls, we this is our last year to really have a shot at winning state for a little bit, because you wouldn't expect any team to, when you make that classification jump, to go out and just all of a sudden be a bracket wrecker, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And I kind of felt that he was probably letting them know, hey, we gotta go out and take care of business this year because it's going to be a couple years, for we probably have our shot with 5A. So we knew that they were going to bring it. We looked at their record and their results with their games, and you could kind of see that they weren't a very high scoring offense. Yeah, you look up and down their schedule. Typically it was one, two, three goals scored, but you saw a lot of shutouts, which kind of told the story that they were a very defensively minded team and were perfectly fine with getting a little bit of a lead and sitting on it. And I think you saw that in the semifinal with Salado whenever they took that number 17 midfielder and dropped her back in the defense that second half, and were pretty much just totally fine with winning that game the way that they did. So we knew it was going to be tough, but I really felt, especially in the second half, that we would have a good chance of winning if we were able to get that one goal, and to have the win, get that one goal. I would feel pretty confident that we were going to win, and we got that one goal, and I think by the end of the match, I think Caitlin only registered one shot on goal or something. So I kind of knew that our defense would shut them down. Bernie had just played a double overtime game the day before, and I just felt like our legs were going to be a little bit fresher. And I think at the end of the game, you watch the last 15, 20 minutes, and you can see that we were winning every 50-50 ball. And I just think Bernie just eventually just ran out of gas, and we were able to go out and get the win.
For you personally, just 3 years now, three state titles, 85 wins. Not a bad way to start off this career with the Bobcats. Um, the girls had just gone to state in 21, made history there by reaching state for the first time. You come in, you were familiar with the area, having been at Garland, in Garland. Just kind of what do you remember about those first days coming to Celina and really just that whole season?
Yeah, it was a little nerve wracking. Like you said, Coach Steve Nichols, he had the coach before me had a nice run there, taking them to the semifinal, and eventually lost to Midlow Heritage. And I knew that he had built up a good team, and like I said, when you inherit somebody like Taylor Z, you knew that you were inheriting a Corvette or a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. That she was just a one woman wrecking crew that was out to score as many goals as she could anytime she was out there on the field. So so to go into that situation, I knew that we had what it took to be a high powered winner, and really my approach was to kind of talk with the girls and to find out, not only went what they felt went right, but also what they felt went wrong, and got some feedback on that, and then we started to go to work on what I felt was a winning strategy. And we were lucky enough. It's funny that whole first season, the girls, that's all they talked about was how much they wanted to play Midlow again. And I was thinking in my head, well, you got to be careful what you wish for, because they were obviously a very high quality team, and to meet them up in the final and get what they wanted, they were really excited, and I think that's what, in my opinion, that first year it gave me the most enjoyment, was the fact that the girls got their revenge on a team that had beat them the year before, and not only got their revenge, but did it in the most dramatic form ever. I mean, there's I still have coaches today that come up to me and say that that's one of the most exciting games of soccer I've ever watched in my life. And to just to have all the craziness that went down in that game and it come down to penalties was pretty nuts.
So how did we celebrate during the weekend?
Well, honestly, a lot of rest. I mean, talking with you earlier, but just how exhausting this weekend can be. That it's uh, you don't realize how emotionally draining going out there and doing that is, but it is. When you're so invested in the success of the team and the success of the girls and the program, and you want it so much for them and their families and the town, and you just have so much emotional baggage invested into these 2 days of soccer, that whenever it's all done and over with, you kind of feel like you ran a marathon, and so told my wife, I said, this weekend I'm gonna be kind of worthless, and I'm sorry, but there's no there's no honeydews this weekend, and she was nice enough, and we got to eat some of the food that I love to eat. She made her famous pancakes that I love eating, and we kind of just hung out and were bums this weekend, and tried to do as little as possible.
Yeah, the celebrating that's you could do that for the next couple months until you got to focus again for the 25 season.
Right.
And I also want to mention just some historical facts because I love numbers like this. But again, three straight state titles. That's the first time since the early 2000s, at least for a girls team. I think it was Plano West, 2000 to 2002. And then for boys, I only could find one, and that was in the early 90s, Plano High. So
Yep.
second girls team to three-peat, and third team all time, boys and girls. And then last year, setting the records in the state title game, 8-1 against Stephenville. You guys finished 29-0 overall, which I think again the third team to do it on the girls' side, undefeated state championship. Um, but to do this three-peat and to again be the second girls team to do it, and it's been 20 25 years. Um, as all these numbers kicked in yet? Have you had a chance? I know you, like you said, you have time to rest up this weekend and recover, but has any of those historical facts sort of set in yet? And just real what you realized, what your girls really accomplished?
It's funny you ask that, because all the time, like even last year, I had parents that were coming up to me saying, "Hey, we still got a shot at being undefeated, and we haven't lost a home game in this many games, and all these different stats." And I think I just get so lost in trying to get the team prepared, that I don't really pay attention to some of that stuff. But when I start talking with some of you guys in the media, and again, the parents and everything, and to hear all this stuff that's been happening in the background, and it's crazy to think that I'm a part of a team that's going out and doing this stuff. And I tell people all the time, don't give me any credit. I'm just over there on the sideline screaming at them, that it's the girls that go out and execute, the game plan. But I'm really, it makes me really satisfied for the girls to go out and accomplish these things, because I kind of told them the beginning of this last game. My pregame speech this time around was the fact that how much dedication that they've put into that moment. You look back, and this is every single player in youth sports, but just the sacrifice that goes into committing your time away from your family, away from boyfriends, away from sometimes church, right? All these different sacrifices that they've made to the team, and that to make sure that they understand that what's on the line. It's more than just winning state. It's what they've given up in order to win state. And I kind of just let them know that you can't let this other team take that away from you. The fact that you've sacrificed so much to be the winners, and that they needed to realize that that's kind of like the bigger picture here. The fact that they were able to I guess focus into that and go out and win, and to kind of bring it back to what we're talking about here. That it that's the bigger picture here, right? Is the fact that they're able to go out and accomplish all these great things, and do it in a manner where they're self-sacrificing a lot of personal time in order to get it done. So it makes it really sweet for them to be able to go and accomplish these things that they've done, because they're the ones that are putting in all the work and dedicating all their time to this. And obviously with my family too, that's it's something I'm really thankful for, with both my wife and I got one daughter, Olivia, that what they're able to do for me and allow me to go out and coach these kids, and know that there's going to be times where they're not going to see me for a whole day, because I'm leaving early and then getting home late on game nights, and for them to be okay with that and let me go out and accomplish these things with these girls is something special.
All right, I gotta get you out on this. You're gonna make history next year for Pete. What's kind of the team look like? How many girls are graduating?
So this year we're going to graduate four girls, three girls that were starters. Caitlin, our goalie, and then McKenna and Brooklyn, who are both part of the back line. So it's definitely going to be a little bit different look on the back line next year. But I will say that with what we got coming up this next year, our middle school season started, and we've got a core group of girls that they're going to be young, but I think if they buy into what we're about, and kind of go out and accomplish the things that we did this year, between that and the fact that we got another year of experience with all the rest of the team that we have now, the sky's the limit. So we'll see. To be determined.
Awesome, but hey, we'll be looking forward to it. It's good. Time to enjoy the off season, but I know it's going to be quick, and you're going to be back to work, and before you know it, it's going to be January, and I'll be back in Georgetown again. So enjoy. It was fun keeping up throughout the season. Congratulations on all your success and on another state championship.
All right, we appreciate it. Thank you. Just want to say thank you to everybody in Celina. The support's been wonderful. Thank you to my family, and most of all, thank you to you, Brian. Appreciate you having me on, man.
Thank you again. That's Solana girls soccer coach Alex Adams. The Bobcats, three straight state titles, Class 4A champs. And so this will wrap up another episode of Game Time with the Goss, powered by Grey Wolf Promotions. If you're looking for some cool fan gear merchandise, go check out greywolfpromotions.com and check us out, gmsportsmedia.com. We appreciate all the support, and we'll check you out next time. Aloha.